is I'm going to preach P45. So in other words, I'm going to preach the sections of Matthew, Mark, Luke, there's just a tiny portion of John, but I can sneak something in there, and Acts that remain extant in P45. If I've got the time, I may even provide a bulletin insert with at least an image of a part of where we're going to be speaking. And I wonder, I know there is a PDF file attachment thing on sermon audio. There is. So something's making me think, I might be able to, we'll see. I may not have time. I always have lots of plans, but time is always the hard part. But I'm certainly what it's going to force me to do, and one of the things I have to do for this project is I have to translate P45 and Toto. What are you laughing about?
Somebody in the channel wants to know, how can you possibly preach P45? It's not King James only, or it's not King James.
Oh, well, yes, okay.
Sorry,
so,
it
struck
me funny.
It struck me funny for that. Anyway, so I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. The only problem is that I haven't verified yet whether I would be running directly into where Pastor Fry is preaching at the moment. So I may have to actually change the order a little bit because I don't want to necessarily run into where he is right now and be at cross purposes along that way. But I really spend some time trying to figure out how I can multitask in the sense of bringing things together. And I have regular preaching duties at church. And so I need to be translating this papyrus. It's not that there aren't excellent renditions of it, but obviously the actual translating of it forces you to become extremely familiar with it and what it's missing, what it's not. I should not have chased this rabbit, but I did, so let me finish it up. It doesn't look like P45 has ice top hat on. But I already know enough about P45 to realize that the significance of that is not nearly on the level as if P66 or P75, other gospel manuscripts, did not contain the same phrase. The reason being, the author of P45 frequently omits things. And one of the parts of my study will be identifying, one of the big issues of P45 is, what was the scribe copying? Because it seems that in the different portions of the manuscript, different sources are being used. So that's why I can sort of shed some light on what sources were available around 225 AD. A lot of work, folks. That's why I appreciate your prayer and your support in that kind of work. Especially because while trying to do that, I've got Russell Hunter of Abolish Human Abortion calling imprecatory prayers down upon me. That God would strike me and make me sick because I'm such an evil, false teacher who had never heard of him before. So, anyway, we'll get to that later on. But P45 doesn't. But when you put this phrase, Eis taparan pros Bethsaidon, unto the other side pros Bethsaidon, and then you just go down, you have the walk, Jesus walking on the water, Jesus enters into the boat, he got in the boat, and then in Mark 6:53, and having crossed over, they came to land at Gennesaret and moored to the shore. So here's what I said in regards to what to Dr. Licona on the webinar. Dr. Licona, it seems obvious to me, thinks that the best conclusion for a person to come to based upon the factual information is that there is a fundamental error in the text of Scripture. Now, what that means about his understanding of what Scripture is, what inspiration is, when he then goes on to say we don't know what inspiration looks like, and so on and so forth, there seems to be and in fact, honestly, reading the added material to the article, I could not tell that I was not reading the arguments of a person who is just absolutely attempting to prove contradiction in the Bible. I mean, you read it yourself and see if that's not the conclusion you come to. And so what I pointed out was, if you take Dr. Licona's position, you create a fundamental contradiction in Mark. So in other words, to say he was wrong at 645, you're then left going, so he got unwrong at 653? So in literally a matter of sentences, he was confused at 645, he got unconfused by 653. Maybe, he's working away and, it's tough writing on this papyrus, and he was starting to sort of lose concentration around 645, but between 645 and 653, someone brought him his Starbucks. And once he got his Starbucks, the caffeine kicked in, clarity of thought, because Mark has them landing at Gennesaret. And so the only way for that to work, I'm not sure if they're going to get in sounds like someone's banging on the walls outside. So, what? Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't even gotten to talking about him yet. So let's put it this way. Let me illustrate it this way, because Dr. Licona tried to use some illustrations about directions and stuff. What do you think someone could do if they had the time to do it, which I do not and have no interest in doing, but what do you think someone could do if they applied the guilty until proven innocent, or at least confused until proven innocent hermeneutic to something that big? Don't you think Dr.